Just over the Montana border in North Dakota, north of the small town of Killdeer, there is a French mansion. It is part of a frontier estate built in 1863 for a titled family called de Creniers from Bordeaux. When the last of the de Creniers died in France in 1904, the two-story Victorian house, its contents, and the surrounding acres were bequeathed to the nearby town. Looking incongruous still in the vast landscape of brown hills, it has since stood as a tourist attraction. There are various explanations for why the house was built in such a desolate place. After the fur trade had passed on, but before the Indian Wars were over and settlement had come. In time, the Great Northern Railroad reached it, but the first de Creniers had to come up by boat 700 miles from St. Louis and finish the journey by horse. According to a pamphlet given to tourists, the family had had thoughts of establishing a cattle empire, but their visits were irregular and short. In spite of the rich furnishings freighted in and installed and the considerable expense and trouble involved in construction, only one, René de Creniers, ever overwintered there. His visits began in the spring of 1883, and he arrived each spring thereafter, departing each fall, until he took up permanent residence in 1887. 7 years later, in the summer of 1894, he left abruptly, and no de Creniers ever came again. This young de Creniers, too, the pamphlet goes on to say, was the only one of the family to visit regularly with people in town or who rode more than a day's journey into the surrounding country. The gray and white house gives the impression now of being a military outpost on the edge of an empire of silence and space, the domain at the time it was built of buffalo, bear, antelope, wolves, Hunkpapa Sioux, crows off to the west, and others. Today there is little of value left beyond the house itself and a few pieces of period furniture, except a collection of extraordinary books. In the summer of 1974, this collection was in the process of being restored by a man named Edward Sorrow.